Welcome back to the channel. Thank you all for subscribing. If you've already subscribed, if you haven't already, please subscribe, please like, please comment, please let me know what you think about this video and the others I have made. Positive comments, negative comments, everything is welcome. Let's get straight to this video, which is one of the more unique ones I've done, and I'm surprised that more people aren't talking about this, what I'm about to talk about, which is that there is a probability higher than usual that there may be a tie in the Electoral College this time around. And I'm going to explain how that can happen, and it may not be as outlandish as you may think. And I'm going to use Nate Silver's polling. Now, a lot of people are skeptical of Nate Silver. They say that, oh, Nate Silver was wrong in 2016. Well, Nate Silver was wrong in 2016, but not as wrong as most people were. He gave Trump, I believe it was a 33% chance of winning. The New York Times gave him a 1% chance of winning, so he wasn't way off like a lot of others were. He's done very well in 08, in 12, and in 20, and his polling is very fair. He includes many reputable pollsters, including ones that are accused of being a little more favorable to Trump, like Robert Cahaly's Trafalgar and the Rasmussen poll, among others. But he mixes in all the reputable pollsters, and he has it state by state. So what we're going to do is we're going to go state by state. And what I also do is whenever I see a number for Trump in the polling, I always tack on 2 more percent. And that may seem like I'm giving him an unfair advantage when I make these predictions. The reason I do it, though, is because Trump is notoriously underpolled. And I am not the only one who believes that, because we have data showing that. 2016 and 2020, Trump's results were much better than his polling was. So I always give him 2 percentage points. Now, what happens if they're tied? Well, you're going to see, because there's going to be a few instances where they are. Does tie go to the runner? Is Donald Trump the runner? In each tie instance, I will give you who I think will win the state based on other things, not just the data, based on historical facts, based on what happened last time, based on how I think the state's going due to certain issues. I will justify it, and you will hear me do so. So let's get started. I want to start with the state of Arizona, where Nate Silver has Kamala Harris 45.8 and Trump 43.7. Now, if we tack 2 on for Trump, he's basically tied with Kamala. Now, if we go back to our Electoral College map, I am going to give Arizona to Trump. Why? Well, the reason is in 2020, Trump lost Arizona. It was narrow, but Trump lost it. And one of the reasons he did is there are many moderate Republicans there who voted for John McCain. They did not like Donald Trump, whether or not it was because of the way he treated John McCain, both while he was alive and posthumously. Maybe they're ticked off at that. Maybe there are other reasons, but there are a lot of moderate Republicans there. Now, they felt comfortable voting for Joe Biden because Joe Biden is more of a moderate candidate. He is seen as sort of like a blue dog Democrat. A lot of people don't even use that phrase anymore, that term anymore, because they're all but extinct. Maybe Joe Manchin is the only one left. But they were comfortable voting for Joe Biden. They saw him as moderate. They saw him as, more of a centrist. They will not view Kamala Harris that way if the Trump campaign does their job. So I believe there's going to be a lot of moderate Republicans who are probably going to hold their nose and vote for Trump in Arizona. That plus the Trump base that's very enthused about him and loves him and will come out in droves for him, I believe will put Arizona red. Okay, so let's go back and we're going to check on Nevada. Let's see where he has Nevada. State of Nevada. Some interesting things going on in Nevada. It's the only state where I'm really puzzled about why Trump is doing so well, because he's lost it twice, but he's doing well there now. He's leading Kamala. If we tack on 2 percentage points for Trump, it's 46-44. I don't know if it's because of the tax on tip stuff. I have no idea why, but look, if we follow the data, he's leading in Nevada, and Nevada goes to Trump. So let's go back, going back and forth here. Let's give Nevada to Trump. Okay, where are we going to focus on next? Let's go to Wisconsin. Let's go back to Nate Silver's polling averages, and we check out the state of Wisconsin. Whoops, here we go. Wisconsin, 47.4 for Kamala, 44.1 for Trump. So even if we give Trump 2% more, he still loses the state. So simple as that. Let's go back to our electoral map. Let's go to Wisconsin, and let's go blue for Wisconsin for Kamala Harris. The next state is Michigan. Let's go back to Nate Silver's site for Michigan. And let's see where he has it. Kamala 46%, Trump 43. That's the probably of the Rust Belt states, probably the biggest gap we've seen. Even if we give Trump 2%, he's still trailing by 1 point there. A lot of problems in that state for the Democrats, having to do with the Muslim population as well. But I'm just going to follow the data. Unless it's a tie, and I give you another reason, we just follow the data strictly for this purpose. Let's go back to our map. Share this tab instead, and we go Michigan, and we turn Michigan blue. And I forgot to put West Virginia red. Okay, so now we have a race shaping up. 236 for Trump, 251 for Harris. We're left with Pennsylvania, North Carolina, and Georgia. Let's go now back to the site, and let's check out how Nate Silver has Georgia. Trump, 46.5. Harris, 45.1. If we tack 2% more on for Trump, that gets him to 48% around there. So we're going to, again, go by the data. And Georgia seems like a more favorable place for Trump this time. Again, same thing in Georgia as Arizona. A lot of moderate Republicans who vote for Governor Kemp, Brian Kemp, but may not like Trump as much, voted for Joe Biden. They may have split the ticket last time. Or at least Kemp in an off-year election would win and do much better than Trump did in the state. So Trump, I think, is going to get more votes this time simply because a lot of moderate Republicans will come home and they will not be able to stomach voting for Kamala Harris. So let's go back to the electoral map. Let's go to Georgia. Let's give it to Trump. Okay, North Carolina. Let's check out North Carolina. This is always a very tight state, but Trump won it in 2016. He won it in 2020. Virtual tie here. We boost Trump up 2 points, and he's winning the state 47-45. Let's go back. It's a very favorable state to Trump. I'm pretty confident he's going to win North Carolina, but it's a much more competitive race now than it was with Biden. That leaves us with Pennsylvania. Now, this to me looks a lot like what the map might be like on election night, or maybe into the next morning. We're waiting on Pennsylvania. I would not be surprised. So let's see what the polls have to say about Pennsylvania and the polling averages. Kamala Harris, 46%. Donald Trump, 44%. Now, if we give Trump two more percentage points, he's tied. Now, I'm going to give the tie to Kamala Harris this time. Why? Well, let's look back at Pennsylvania in the midterm elections, shall we? In those midterm elections, it was Dr. Oz, Mehmet Oz, versus John Fetterman. And John Fetterman performed horribly at the debates. He could not even form sentences, and this may not have been his fault. It may have been because of what happened with his stroke or what have you. But Pennsylvania is a state. He won that state anyway, is the point. He won that election anyway in the Senate race. Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, they tend to cancel out the rural areas. However, if Trump happens to run up those rural areas, maybe the attempt on his life may drive up his support there, especially in places like Butler, Pennsylvania, where the incident took place. If he can really get those numbers up, he can win the state like he did in 2016. But it's going to have to be a lot to cancel out the big cities. And those two big cities are mammoth in Pennsylvania. They say, it's Pennsylvania is Pittsburgh and Philadelphia and Alabama in the middle. So for now, I'm going to keep Pennsylvania blue. And where does that get us? That gets us to a Kamala Harris win, 270 to 268, a very close election, but not so fast, because what we have, and we might not be used to this yet, but it's because it's only the last couple elections that this has been happening. But unlike the rest of the states where it's winner take all, Maine and Nebraska split up their electoral votes based on congressional district. And if we go to the last election, we see that in the state of Maine, Biden won at 53% to 44%, but Trump picked up one electoral college vote. Why? Because he won Maine's second congressional district, I believe, by 4 or 5%. If I had to bet, he's probably going to do that again. He's probably going to do even better there. And so he's probably going to pick up that district once again. So if we go back, share this tab instead, let's give one of these to Trump. Now it's 269 to 269. What about the Nebraska district? Well, if we go to the Nebraska district, we see that Biden took it last time. Trump won Nebraska 58% to 39%, but Biden did get that one district. Now, can he do it again? Well, he won it, I believe, by 3 points, 3 or 4 points around there. It was pretty tight. It's not out of the question to believe that Kamala Harris is going to do much worse there. This is the heartland. This is the middle of the country. It's not out of the question that Trump will pull out that district. I mean, Republicans have won in this area many, many years before. Obviously, it's changing like other states, but this is still, again, middle America. It's not out of the question to see Trump winning that district. And if he did, he would hold all 5 electoral votes in Nebraska. And if that happens, look what we have 269 to 269. I don't know, but this may be the first time in American history where this has happened. Before, it was kind of, a fluke may make it happen. But this time, you look at the data, you saw what I looked at all the polling as it is now. Now, that may change, but this doesn't seem like it's really out of the realm of possibility. Here's the map. Sorry, I didn't share it in time for you. Here's the map 269 to 269. Doesn't seem very far fetched. And nobody's really talking about that. Now, if this were to happen, how does the president get elected? Well, that's a topic for a whole other video, which I may do. I may do as a follow-up to this one, but it involves each state voting, and I think certain electors in the House of Representatives. I don't even know the full story on it. I need to make sure what I'm going to report to you is correct, but I will make a video on that. I'll make you that promise. I'll make that video on that. But I just wanted to show you it's not so unlikely. I would put it like 10% chance we may end up with a tie. And this would be the first time, as far as I know, that has ever happened in American history. So if you find this interesting, if you agree, maybe you think that's a totally crazy thing to have happen, let me know in the comments. Subscribe to my channel. There's going to be more content coming, more live streams, more videos about the election all the way to election day and about other things as well. So stay tuned. If you've subscribed already, thank you so much. Continue to like and continue to comment. Continue to get into debates in the comments. And I appreciate it all. And once again, if you're new, please do all those things. Subscribe, like, and comment. And I will not repeat that phrase again, I promise. Thank you so much, everybody. I will try and cover the Democratic convention this week. It won't be every hour, every minute, but I will do my best to cover the main speeches. And I hope you join me then. Thank you very much.